Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Today I will show you a 2019 Italian modern drama and fantasy movie, titled The Man Without Gravity. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. The story begins amid a heavy downpour, raindrops relentlessly drumming on the dimly lit streets beneath the cover of night. We are introduced to Elena, an elderly woman, who is behind the wheel, driving her daughter to the hospital for childbirth. As they arrive at the hospital, Natalia is led to the delivery room with her mother by her side to provide support throughout the process. A nurse aids Natalia in giving birth to her baby boy, but an unexpected twist startles them all as the nurse doesn't even have a chance to cradle the infant. As Natalia makes her final push, her baby floats upwards, defying gravity and ascending to the roof. In a swift motion, she is yanked back by her mother, who employs the elongated umbilical cord, leaving both women bewildered, pondering if they have just welcomed an angel into the world. Urgently, they depart from the hospital, making their way back home on that very same night. Upon their return home, Natalia confides in her mother, suggesting that perhaps her baby boy will remain grounded once he's been fed. Elena, seeking clarity, probes her daughter about the identity of the child's father. However, Natalia remains in the dark, unaware of the father's identity or whether he is ordinary. Overwhelmed by apprehension concerning the outside world, Elena seals the windows shut, cautioning her daughter that baby Oscar must never venture outdoors. Fatigued from their experiences, they eventually succumb to sleep in the dining area. Elena awakens to the daylight filtering in, and discovers baby Oscar asleep atop the roof. Hastily, she rouses Natalia, who climbs onto the table to retrieve the baby and return him to his mother's arms. While conversing with Natalia, Elena grapples with the notion that perhaps Oscar and his extraordinary capabilities are a divine reprimand for Natalia's pregnancy at her age. Elena's unease deepens as she fears the prying eyes of the town's gossipmongers, who might come to catch a glimpse of the unusual child. When the women from town went to see the newborn, they not allowed to touch the baby. Elena claims that he was born very frail. As soon as the women leave, Natalia is happy that her dad's belt was able to hold the baby to his bed. The two women in Oscar's life begin to baby-proof the house, installing even sheets on the roof and building swings. Two of the town women come along to check up on Oscar, advising Elena to let the baby out for a little sun. Once again, she lies that the baby cannot go outside as they found out the baby is allergic to the sun. As Oscar continues to grow up, he does not go outside. Natalia finally makes a discovery about her son's gravity problem, specifically in the waist area, and is happy that her son can be able to attend school with his jacket and some weights in his pockets. He can finally be like a normal kid and play outside. Nana is not happy and is insecure with her grandson being outside or around other kids. She decides to homeschool him. Nana assumes the responsibility of homeschooling Oscar, displaying a hesitancy to allow breaks in between lessons, striving to cover as much material as possible. Oscar's sole source of amusement is the television, particularly the Batman movie, coupled with his narrations about the people passing by his window. He curiously questions his mother, pondering whether he could ever emulate Batman's extraordinary leaps and expressing his yearning to explore the outdoors like the Caped Crusader. Left to his own devices, Oscar finds solace in crafting stories about the outside world and even attempts to venture outdoors, albeit without success. On a separate occasion, as his mother and grandmother return from a shopping trip, a sudden noise captures their attention, propelling them indoors. Elena peers through the window, half expecting to see Oscar floating away, but is relieved to find him inside. Oscar, apologetically, assures his mother that he hadn't ventured out. In an effort to ensure his safety, Elena secures the window, fastening it shut, a decision that evokes frustration in Natalia. This incident prompts Natalia to make a pivotal choice, taking Oscar outside for the first time, under the cover of night. Oscar beseeches his mother to safeguard his ability to float as a secret, much like Batman's concealed talents. Natalia persists in guiding Oscar through the process of walking, effectively becoming his playful companion. On a particular day, she accompanies Oscar to the store but opts to leave him outside momentarily. As Oscar takes his steps, counting along, an inadvertent collision occurs with a girl named Agatha, resulting in her stumble and her belongings scattering. Seeking to make amends, Agatha proposes that Oscar assist her in carrying 2 bottles of water home as a gesture of apology. As they trek a considerable distance, fatigue eventually sets in, compelling Oscar to shed the weights from his pockets. Eventually, Agatha and Oscar arrive at her residence. Despite Agatha's attempt to retrieve the water bottles, Oscar resists relinquishing them, as they serve as his grounding anchor. Agatha, with determination, manages to wrest the bottles from his grip, causing a surprising outcome. Oscar begins to float. Agatha's astonishment blends with admiration, leading her to pull Oscar back down to the ground and embrace him. Fueled by inspiration, she rushes indoors, leaving Oscar bewildered by his mid-air encounter. She soon returns, clutching a pink backpack that she presents to Oscar, suggesting it could provide stability. Grateful and cautious of exposing his secret, Oscar entreats Agatha to keep their unique bond confidential, solidifying their newfound friendship. Oscar arrives home later in the evening, greeted by his mother's visible distress regarding his earlier disappearance. He proceeds to explain his whereabouts, detailing how he acquired the pink backpack, while falsely asserting that Agatha remains unaware of his unique ability to float. Meanwhile, grandmother Alina discovers Oscar's abandoned weights on the streets, causing her to rush home, fraught with worry over his safety. To her relief, she finds Oscar at home. To shield his secret, Natalia fabricates a tale, claiming that she was the one who obtained the pink bag for him due to his fondness for its color. Oscar and Agatha's companionship endures, their bond continuing to strengthen. However, a pivotal moment arises when Agatha's grandmother discloses to Natalia that Agatha had shared Oscar's remarkable ability to fly with her. This revelation sparks alarm within the family, leading Natalia to sever the children's friendship in an attempt to shield her son from potential dangers. As a result, Agatha and Oscar's relationship dissolves, leaving both of them disconnected. As Oscar remains confined to their residence, the family faces a visit from educational authorities concerned about the child's absence from school. The marshals clarify that if Oscar is unwell and unable to attend school, a medical letter is required. In response, Natalia and Alina vow to accompany Oscar to school the following day. Yet, when the time comes, the reality proves disheartening. Children are mandated to leave their jackets and bags outside, an insurmountable obstacle for Oscar. Crushed by this realization, they return home, and Oscar's dreams of conventional education shatter. With persistent pressures from officials, the family relocates to a secluded area to escape the relentless interference. Despite their efforts to find solace, Natalia remains vigilant, keeping their door locked, apprehensive of who may come knocking. Oscar has matured into adulthood, navigating his way in and out of town. The winter season's cold grasp doesn't deter him, as he treks through the snow-covered streets toward the local bar. There, he takes a moment to enjoy a light drink while anticipating his mother's arrival. Among the townsfolk, a moniker has taken hold. They now refer to him as Backpack, an homage to his constant companion, the pink bag slung across his shoulders. Eventually, Oscar and his mother, Natalia, make their way back home, the passage of time etching an age-worn elegance onto Natalia's countenance. Within the familiar confines of their dwelling, Natalia urges Oscar to partake in the town's fair, under the assumption that he was attending for the same reason he frequented the town. However, a sense of tedium takes root within Oscar, his spirit yearning for something more, pondering how things might differ without the weight of his backpack. The following day dawns, and Oscar finds himself engaged in an unexpected role, that of an instructor. Patiently, he imparts lessons to Andrea, guiding him through the pages of the Bible. Yet, Andrea's enthusiasm wanes, as he finds solace in books adorned with vivid illustrations rather than textual profundity. A new diversion emerges, beckoning them to a small club to witness a game, and Oscar eagerly awaits his mother's arrival. In a light-hearted jest, Andrea playfully ponders aloud about Oscar's unwavering attachment to his backpack, humorously musing that it might be a lifelong companion. While engrossed in the television program, the tranquility is disrupted as the television network experiences distortion. Reacting swiftly, Andrea proposes that Oscar fetch a ladder to fix the antenna outside. Yet, Oscar dismisses the need for a ladder, playfully suggesting that he could ascend effortlessly, akin to Batman. His mother's unease deepens, casting a shadow over the exchange, prompting them to leave. Unbeknownst to those around him, Oscar harbors a deep-seated desire to be recognized for his extraordinary ability to defy gravity. However, his mother harbors reservations about exposing her son to the scrutiny of the world. Later, as night blankets their home, Oscar's slumber is interrupted by an advertisement heralding a show featuring exceptional individuals competing in an upward-bound spectacle. Fueled by excitement, Oscar hastily packs his belongings and departs under cover of darkness, leaving behind a succinct note expressing remorse and the promise of communication. At the show, fortune favors Oscar as a random selection designates him, a representative of Italy, to take the stage. Meanwhile, back home, Natalia receives a phone call urging her to watch her son's televised performance. A pivotal moment unfolds as Oscar, for the first time, relinquishes his trusty bag and ascends skyward in full view of the audience. As he prepares to depart the venue, Oscar is contacted by David, resulting in a meeting that culminates in the christening of his new identity, the man without gravity. Eager to formalize their collaboration, David orchestrates Oscar's unwitting signing of documents purportedly for his protection, followed by an opulent gift, a mansion befitting his newfound celebrity. Oscar's ascent to fame is rapid, aided by David's guidance, leading to celebratory moments shared between them. Amidst one such celebration, a call from his mother interrupts, yet Oscar hesitates, fearing he might disrupt the festive atmosphere. As Oscar readies himself for an upcoming performance, he pens a poignant speech intended to offer his fans insight into the sensation of flight. However, David swiftly extinguishes his enthusiasm, asserting that such sentiments would fall on indifferent ears. After the performance, back at the mansion, Oscar stumbles upon televised falsehoods about his mother and his upbringing, an unsettling revelation that stokes his ire. A confrontation with David ensues, but David skillfully deflects, steering Oscar towards an author and publisher to explore a book centered around his unique ability. Infuriated, Oscar departs. In the following chapters of his life, Natalie visits her son, witnessing him perform in an angelic costume, though his happiness remains elusive. Further interactions with David bring news of a fabricated demise, aimed at driving Oscar into obscurity. Reporters seek Natalie's perspective on Oscar's apparent passing, only to be met with her resolute silence. Oscar, now in disguise as Potter, reconnects with his childhood friend Agatha, whose generosity once gifted him the pink backpack. Their relationship waxes and wanes as financial constraints and Agatha's choices complicate their connection. Eventually, Oscar and Agatha find themselves united, residing in the very house where Oscar was raised. As the tale draws to a close, Agatha, now pregnant, bestows gloves upon Oscar, a symbol of warmth and continuity, as he ventures out to work, enveloped by the chilly air. Please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notifications about new movie recaps.